There's got to be a morning after. This reminds me of when I predicted that Khabib would smash McGregor, but better. That one was like a way bigger fight and everything, but this one's like right here, right now, you know, and I'm on that instant gratification. For those of you that don't know, I called it. Mystic Jesse called it. Scope the last video. I made a video 7 months ago saying that Jake Paul was going to be the biggest fighter of 2021, and I was making those comparisons between him and Woodley before it was on anybody's radar. Jake Paul is on that Tyron Woodley template. Fighter, media personality, rapper, actor, activist, and he's argumentatively better in every category. Let me clarify, I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I say it all the time, but I am an MMA truther. In this case, boxing truther as well. It translates. I don't care if he's a YouTuber or a noisy neighbor. I take all the facts into consideration, and that fool's been putting in work. Yes, if he fought a good striker, he would lose. You see, I'm not biased and blinded by hatred like some of you are. I made it clear that I was not a fan of Jake Paul, but I knew that he was going to beat Ben Askren. And you have to acknowledge that it's easy to laugh about it today and say, of course Jake Paul beat Ben Askren. Back then, people weren't saying that. People were rooting for Ben Askren, that he was going to save the MMA community. Don't even lie. But I was one of the only people saying, Charlie, I don't care how you feel about him. He's clearly going to win. And then I predicted the same thing leading up to this fight. I know that some of you are getting a little bit skeptical of my kind of predictions because the way I talk about it sounds like I'm a fan. Let me put it like this. I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but I am rooting for Jake Paul. I like the freak show. And I've been saying it over and over again. It's basically celebrity deathmatch in real life. Mira, if Ben Askren would have won or Tyron Woodley, then it would have been over for Jake Paul. And he would have went back to putting Orbeez in a bathtub. But now that he won, it gets to continue. He's going to end up fighting like Doja Cat next. Jimmy Fallon, Dana White, Mama Woodley. And then all the fools are going to be crying saying that they don't want to see that. And they want Jake Paul to go away. And I'm not going to spend my money on that. But then they're going to go to Reddit. And they're going to be searching for those links. And when they can't find it, they're going to come into my chat section, begging everybody to share it with them. Jake Paul's got you right where he wants you. That fool's living inside your head like a Californian with squatters' rights. All in all, I think we got to admit that it was a pretty decent event. It was very non-thriller-like. Before I get to the main event, just let me recap the first fights real quick. Tommy Fury made Anthony Taylor look like how Tyson Fury made Deontay Wilder look. Also, Tommy Fury, get smaller shoulders. You're making a lot of fools upset. Montana Love was treating Baranchik like if he was Nate Diaz. And he made him quit on the stool after the 7th, like I predicted, by the way. Daniel Dubois did to Joe Cusimano what everybody thought Tyron Woodley was going to do to Jake Paul. He knocked him down 3 times in the first round. And by the end of it, Joe Cusimano actually thought that he was Jake Paul. Amanda Serrano got the decision over Mercado. And I learned that women's boxing only has 2-minute rounds. I know there's a lot of you out there right now feeling very emotional. Lots of dudes needing to get those tears wiped away, if you know what I mean. Now that you feel a little bit better, you could go back to my video where you were leaving comments saying, I'll be back after the fight, homie. Where you at now? I can't see you. Look, this is like one of those classic Tyron Woodley didn't get beat by his opponent. You know, that fool beat himself. And as far as I'm confirmed, it all started with the walkout song. Woodley came out to his new single, Let's Go Big. Did you know that Donda finally came out? No? I didn't think so. It's because they came out the same weekend. Kanye's living in Tyrone's shadow. But you got to be smarter with your walkout music. It's got to be something that's like personal and that means something to you. Not that's going to hype up the other fighter. You can't come out to the hip hop like that with the white boy from Ohio. That's the demographic. You know that Jake Paul was backstage feeling himself like Nathan Johnson. Jake was hyped. Woodley's over here like, how about a car with no roof? And Jake's like, I like cars with no roof. Mira, there's not much to say about the actual fight itself. Woodley didn't want to let the hands go. He was acting like if he let him go, he thought he wasn't going to get him back or something. And that stance, he looked like a praying mantis or something. It was like the old style, but backwards. And there's 2 different kinds of people right now starting a narrative. The Jake Paul fans from YouTube that have probably never seen Tyron Woodley fight ever. And the MMA, excuse my language, casuals that probably haven't seen that many Tyron Woodley fights saying that he's washed up and he's afraid to let the hands go now, whatever. Hey, that fool never let the hands go. You could even look at his record when he did have TKOs, when he did have knockouts, when he beat Robbie Lawler. He never let the hands go. He might get a big bomb here and there, But that's all that he would do. He might set it up with a little feint. That's the biggest combo you're going to get from Woodley. Little flick, and then there's the bomb. That's it. And he did the same thing against Jake Paul. The little flick here and there, try to land the bomb. It didn't work that great, but it's the same strategy. He hasn't changed. I know he lost his last 4 fights and everything. That's a regular right now. But what I'm saying is that Tyron Woodley, his style, it works in the cage because he could throw the bomb. He could throw kicks. He could go for the takedown. He could do groundwork. He could put you on the cage. He can't do that in the boxing ring though. So everybody was acting like we're seeing a way different Tyron Woodley right now. He's an old man now. He's sluggish. He's afraid. No, that's just Tyron Woodley only allowed to box. That's what he looks like. You're not going to get far in boxing if the only thing that you could do is land bombs. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. It is disgusting, and frankly, it's offensive that anybody would claim that Tyron Woodley won that fight. I think he won round 4 and 8, but in case you forgot, there were 8 rounds, so that's a lot for Jake Paul. All Woodley was doing was stalking and trying to look scary. And that might work if you're trying to get back with your ex, but that's not going to work in the boxing ring. And people are saying that Jake was running, but every time he moved back, he was landing that jab and those body shots. Woodley took more body shots than my Tío Beto on my prima's baptism. Even his corner knew that he was losing. They kept telling him, you're giving him too much time. You got to put him away. Y'all must have forgot that Tyron Woodley has been a meme in the MMA community for the longest now, and that maybe you're picking the lesser of the two evils, I don't know, because that you hate Jake Paul so much that now all of a sudden Tyron Woodley's your hero and you want him to win so bad. At the end of the day, Jake landed more. He scored more points. He didn't get knocked down. That's how you win a boxing match, right? And Woodley's even more delusional than the people who thought he won by asking for a rematch. I'm not even gonna lie, I felt bad for him in that moment, thinking that he could actually sell the next fight better than anybody else. It came off as desperate. And anybody who watched the fight knows that the next one wouldn't be any different. There's way bigger fights than Woodley. The actual match, that's a bonus. People want the freak show. Give us a celebrity. I want to see Jake in there with Oprah Winfrey. Jake already accomplished what he set out to do by fighting somebody like Woodley. He wanted to say what's up to the MMA community, and he wanted to diss Dana White. However, Woodley kept begging, and Jake told him that the only way he would do it is if he got that tattoo. And Woodley said that he's going to do it as long as he sees that paperwork. He could just never go home again. There is a new development though. Tyron Woodley has just accused Jake Paul of using steroids, which is a weird excuse, unless it's a brand new type of steroid that somehow freezes your opponent's hands. That's not a good way to get the next fight, Woodley. And Jake doesn't want to fight right away anyway. He was already saying that he wants to take a little vacation. That fool's gonna have a baby.
She's pregnant.
Woo! Imagine when that fool comes back with his dad strength. I already predicted that he will be the biggest fighter of 2021. But now, I predict that fool's gonna be the daddest man on the planet. To be honest, I didn't learn anything from this fight because it played out the way that I knew it would. But I know that there's something that a lot of you learn throughout this process. Never disrespect. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Late.